Okay, so this is planting a hanging basket with alpine plants. First of all, we recommend either a wicker or a coir basket, mainly because they keep the roots cool. Alpines, by the nature of the plant, tend to be low growing. This is an iberis which gets to about 10 to 12 inches tall, so it will give a bit of height in the centre of a basket. The compost here is actually a peat-free compost. It's mixed with a bit of grit and sharp sand to give it a little bit of extra drainage, and we've punctured the liner as well, so it's going to be free draining. We don't want it to be stood in water. Alpines don't tend to like that. So now I'm going to put a Campanula carpatica pearl white. This is in flower at this time of year, and I'm trying to put in a little bit of additional colour as well as we work our way around. And it's the important thing to remember is when you're planting an alpine basket, you try and do it so that instead of being a saucer shape to hold water, we mound it so that water runs off them, because we don't want them stood in that water. This is a sedum winter lemon. Keeps this foliage all year round, goes rusty brown in winter, so you get that foliage contrast in winter as well, because obviously these are perennials, so you don't need to actually chuck out these plants after flowering. You can actually keep them, because most of them will be evergreen. Because this basket is going to be in full sun, I'm also going to put a Delosperma purple in here as well. These open up in sunlight. It's very similar to a Mesembryanthemum, a Livingston daisy, but it is a perennial variety. And again, they retain most of their leaves even in a harsh winter. I'm just working our way around the basket. The ones around the edges will trail over. This one is an Antonaria rubra, pussyfoot it's called, because the flowers when they come out are shaped like the pads of a cat's paw. And then one final planting here, I think that will do it. And this is going to be a Lewisia. Now the thing to remember with Lewisias is you don't plant them horizontal, because water gathers in the middle of the rosette in winter. It'll freeze and rot the plant. So it's always best to be planted around the edge of a basket or container on a slight slope, because that's the way they grow on a mountainside. So water runs off them. So there we go, that's that planted up. And then we add extra grit to the surface of the compost. The reason for this is so that the roots stay cold even in the hottest sunlight. And again, just press it into the compost. A little bit of it might wash off in heavy rain, but the majority will stay on the basket. And it's all about keeping these little roots cool. Winter time it's not really such an issue. And there is a hanging basket. It's important that you give them room to grow on, because these plants will spread out. And I have added a little bit of extra feed in this basket because it is intended to be a perennial all year round basket. So if you do that, the compost is a multi-purpose anyway, but I've added a little bit of extra Osmocote to it with about 12-month feeding program on there, but only give half the quantity that you would do normally. Watering, you won't need to water this as much as you would bedding plants. Bedding plants in the height of summer, you probably be watering your basket at least twice a day, if not 3 times a day. These 2 to 3 times a week. They don't need a lot of water. So in winter time, hold off on the watering unless the plants really are asking for it. And if they ask for it, just give them a light spray. Probably in the morning is probably better, or the last thing in the evening. Just give them a misting spray, because that's all they're going to get on a mountain. Water runs away from the plants. It comes down to the bases. So minimal watering. What I'll do now is, this has just been planted up in bone dry compost. That is going to be given a little bit of water now, and then we won't need to water it again, probably for about another 3 to 4 days, because of the way the weather is here in the East Riding.